All right, so I'm just going to kind of go through the piano engine really quick, and everything it can do as deeply and as quickly as possible. So the first thing we're going to do is go to an empty slot, so it's normal. If you start off on A1, it'll be whatever Word program. So, you know, if you're over there, I don't know whatever it is called, A11. Okay, Royal Grand 3D. You know, whatever. So, basically, the Shift button enables the text underneath the buttons. So all the buttons have a text above them is what they usually do. So like this button does keyboard touch and it can do those 1, 2, and 3. But if I hold Shift first, it's piano info. And it'll tell me, oh, this is Yamaha S6, so that's kind of nice to know. So I'm gonna hold Shift so I can go Shift banks. Obviously, if you just go through A 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll go to B1 after 5 because there's only 5 banks. So or there's only 5 sets of 5 presets in each letter bank. So I'm just going to hold Shift and go all the way over to M, which you can see M is the first free thing. So these are all my programs here as I go through M2, M3. So I can actually go over to N. N is all empty, nothing in here. So that means all of these are going to be just totally unchanged, factory original. And that's where you kind of want to start from. Don't start from any of those Nord ones. All right. So, and all these is just one snapshot of everything, of the piano, the synth, the piano, the organ, the synth. It's just one snapshot of everything. So, turn on the piano, and you can see all 4 green lights are on. It means I have the whole keyboard to the piano engine. Now, the piano that we're using is white grand. To look at the list, I just hold the Shift button, and I can see I got white grand, royal grand, velvet grand. I have my favorites. I've gone through these in depth, and you know you can figure them out. But it's going to go through them in this order: grands, and as I keep scrolling, now we're into the uprights section. Now watch. As soon as I get to the end, it goes to electric. So these are all electric pianos. And then it's going to go to the clav. I think there's only one. No, there's a couple. There's a lot of them actually. Never mind. Digital, and then accessory, whatever, miscellaneous. The other way you could do that instead of using this list is you could, that's exit when you aren't shifting with it, is you can just hit type and it jumps you right to those different things. So you can go to electric and scroll through the electrics. You can go to miscellaneous and scroll through the miscellaneous. Another thing that you guys are using is this mono setting. You hold Shift and hit this. That just turns the output into mono versus so let's see here. Let's load up something. I really like the Bright Grand. That's a Yamaha S4. It's one of my favorite ones on here. So I kind of explained this. Okay, here's this timber. Soft is kind of cool, I guess. You also hold down the soft pedal if you have one. I don't use it as much. I use mid the most, just because it seems to be what I'm looking for out of pianos. Bright, I almost never use. I think it sounds terrible. And then I don't actually know how to enable these other ones. I think these are only available, these dynos, on some of the other models. But disabled is kind of normal, I guess, and that's a good place to use it. I would use it on like normal or mid, is my preference. Keyboard touch basically just makes when you hit it, makes it harder. So 1, each of my hits are going to be even harder than I'm hitting them. 2, even more so, and then 3. So if you feel like there's not enough velocity for how hard you're hitting it, try one of those other ones. Layer detune only works when you have another piano loaded up in the B section, so like this. And then I'm going to combine them together, go to A. So now you're hearing 2 piano models at once. You're hearing white grand and bright grand. Now if I hit layer detune on one of them, it makes them kind of warbly together, which is a super sought after sound. So that's but yeah, probably won't use that. So then this is pretty cool, string resonance, right here. So you can choose string resonance. You can look that up, but you can harmonic companions will resonate each other. Soft release is just felts that don't have as much weight on the strings, kind of modeled. So I don't use it a lot, but sometimes I do. I don't know. And then pedal noise is kind of dumb, but it does, I guess, kind of add a, depends on how loud the piano is. I find the Nord pedal to be awful. Even with the triple pedal and all this, like, it's not even close to the Yamaha stuff. So I usually don't use it because the other pedal I have hooked up, like, causes it to whack the strings all the time, and it's really weird. So that's it. That's the whole piano. You can octave shift up 1 octave. You know, and then if you want the sustain pedal to affect the piano, you have to have that enabled. It's enabled by default, but now there's no sustain pedal. And then the pitch stick, it's all the way over there. You mess with it, but it's not normally enabled. That's the whole piano section. There's nothing else. And then obviously you can add effects, you can add EQ. Let's build up a sound real quick, just for the fun of it. Good, I'm recording. It's been 6 minutes. Dang, I'm not fast at anything. We'll do one that I know I'll like. Let's do the Bright Grand. Let's do it on mid. I'm going to head over to the EQ section and turn down the highs a tad. So hit that, and then I'll turn these highs down. You'll see them go down just a little bit, just a tiny bit. 1.5, 1.8 is fine. And then I'll turn on the reverb, go to room 2 just a little bit. It's not on, that's why. And then I will turn on bright reverb. So I love the bright reverb. Oh, sorry, wrong one. There we go. It makes a big difference. And then, yeah, that's actually a pretty good piano sound. So I'll do some string resonance as well. Oh, that's pedal noise. So, I don't have the sustain pedal enabled. And if you want to use this in the PA system, you probably want it in mono. I might, if it's in mono, I'm hearing weird conflictions, so I'll probably take out a little bit of whatever that is. I find that, okay, it's 1 kilohertz is, for some reason, with a lot of pianos on here, is really uses to go down, especially in the mid mode. So I'm going to take that down a little bit too. It really does a lot of work. That's yep. All right, so there's a decent patch, and then what I can do is save it. So if you hit the store button, it stores the preset. It's still going to be called empty, so we want to name it. So we'll hit Shift, Store As, and then delete all these. And just name it, we'll call it like Jake. Jake. And then just hit store. And then it asks you what slot you want to store it in. I can go through all my slots here. Let's store it in the next available slot. So I have Yamaha 6 Bright. We'll store it in M52, and then I'll hit store. So now, if I ever go to M52, I can just get to that Jake preset that I made up. You can go back through my presets into things. This preset, a lot of these are set up for the weighted keyboard down here, so it's a lot. Oh, it's in mono mode. Doesn't save, by the way. You have to turn that on during the performance. So this one sounds a lot better in headphones. Steinway D I don't use very much. That's what the Royal Grand Lady D. Sounds pretty good. My favorite's that Yamaha S4. I just name them all the piano models. You just look up in here, piano info, because that's what I want to get used to. Bosendorfer, I love this thing. His great lows. Almost so much that you have to turn them down. I think I have them turned down. If you want to look at the settings under any knob, that's another thing. There's this monitor button. You just like hit the monitor button, and then you turn the knob you want to look at. So let's just pick this knob. Without actually changing its settings, it'll tell you that was at 0 before I started. Or if I was going to look at like a EQ down here, I want to see how much is my low cut. I'm just going to hit this button, and it tells me, oh, my bass actually wasn't cut at all. It was at 0. So what I can do is just return it to 0, and then boom, that knob is now, engaged. Because all the knobs, they're analog controls. They don't actually represent the settings changes that occur under them when you go from preset to preset. The only ones that actually do that are the encoders that have a digital readout on them. But all the knobs are actually kind of like moving positions digitally. So if you save something different than its position when you load something, then you have to use this monitor button. All right, that was my quick 10-minute run through. Have fun.